welcome to another Tears League episode. This is episode 7, and I ain't gonna lie, excited bad for this episode because we're doing promotion and demotion watch. And if you're new to my pod, just know this is something I do every single year from week 5 to week 15, where I will show off who's getting demoted and who's getting promoted. With that being said, let me start off with Big 12 week 4 results.
In the East, we have Mountain versus Vachelle. Mountain won that one. Kimoy versus Shamoy. Shamoy won. Rain versus Chris. Chris took that game. And moving on to the West, we have Richie versus Ju. Ju won that one. Breeze versus Iva. Breeze won. Plucky versus Gino. And Gino won that game.
I would say this about the week 4 results though that happened this past week. I feel like that game with Rain and Chris, that was a really big game. Like I actually thought Rain was gonna win, but Chris pulled away on the Sunday, so that was really dope. Then me and Vasco had a really good matchup until like the Friday, and then I kind of gained separation from him. Jumari and Richie, I ain't gonna lie to you, Richie, he does have a lot of injuries this week, and he does call it a week. The one matchup that surprised me is Karim beating Iva. I didn't see that one. Never mind. I kind of did, but I didn't think it would have happened the way it did. But yeah, that was a big win in my opinion. And Gino is after a really hard start too. He is 4-0. This is his best start in Big 12. This is his best start period. Like, he's really showing why he's the number 1 GM.
And before we move on, let's go to the GM of the week for last week. We have Mr. Mountain.
Don't do that.
I just
You can't be professional, dog. Don't do that.
exciting.
Nah, but for real, but for real though, if you're going off of like the points and stuff, Gino did score a little bit more than me, but like as you can see, I didn't have Joker the whole week. And if I don't usually like to tweak my own horn, but I think that's impressive according to like how I see everybody in the Tears League struggle who had Joker this week. And yeah, it looked too good for them. So yeah, I think I deserve the player of the week for this week.
And moving on to Big 12 Week 5 Power Rankings, we have Gino at 1, Mountain at 2, Ju is 3, Shamor at 4, Chris is 5, Kimoy is 6, 7 is Rain, Richie is 8, Iva is 9, Plucky is 10, Vachelle is 11, and Kadim at 12.
So y'all know at first I said I don't really talk much with the power rankings. I can give y'all a little bit more insight now throughout the weeks, since we 4 weeks in. I'll say this about Big 12. I don't know, it's a weird year. It's like a lot of big dogs and a lot of trash teams on the bottom. Like, I keep that shit 100. Like, I don't know how I feel. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, I can honestly say, I ain't gonna call them no names yet. It's too early. But yeah, it's a lot of really good teams right now, and it's a lot of really bad teams. Like, it's weird. It's weird. But that's all I really gonna say right now. I mean, you have an idea when it comes to the rankings of what you're talking about. But yeah, that's really it. That's all I gotta say about these power rankings for this week.
Well, let's get into my favorite category. Richie's Big 12 Parlay for Week 5. We have Mountain versus Kadim, Rain versus Gino, Ju versus Kimoy, Plucky versus Vachelle, Shamoy versus Richie, Chris versus Iva. Blue is who he has to win, and again, he doing good. Last week results, 4 out of 6.
Yeah, Richie doing he take my 17 out of 24.
Man need to play the lottery.
Man winning people bread. Man doing good. But before we move on to tier 3, let me get into some demotion watch. So Big 12 is the highest tier, so you don't have no promotion watch. So let's get into some demotion watch. So off rip, this is Big 12 Week 5 demotion watch. We have Kadim, Plucky, Rain, and Kimoy.
So I have a question. Why 1 and 2 have different colors than 3 and 4?
So if you look all the way to the top right, it says two slots out of 4. So right now it's only 2 slots that will be open for anybody in Tier 3 to get into Big 12. So one thing you need to watch too is the coloring around the rim of the names. Kimoy have a blue and it kind of highlighted with red, same with Rain, so they kind of like on the safe side for right now. But Kadeem have the little dragon, but he deep, like he ain't looking too good for you. He looking rough. Plucky now, I wouldn't say he's as bad as Plucky. I mean, I won't say he's as bad as Kadeem, but I will say he's doing worse than Rain and Kimoy.
So why is only 4 of them on Demotion watch?
4 as in this 4? Like these players alone?
Yeah, does it change the players and it's always going to be 4 people?
So I'm going to say this. So Kadeem and Kimoy, this is the first year in Big 12. So they automatically going to be on Demotion watch. Kimoy can be 20-0. He be on Demotion watch. It just be, his blue going to just get longer around the rim. Pass. Pass. But you get where I'm coming from, right? And Plucky and Rain, they didn't do good last year, but they didn't get demoted. So that's why they on Demotion watch this year. So this is the 4. Everybody else did good last year in Big 12. So this is the 4 people that's on the Demotion watch. So like these are 4 names you will see. But as it is, if somebody's doing really bad in Big 12, I might have to put them on the list.
They're going to take somebody's spot, or going to just add a number 5?
I'm gonna just have to add a number 5.
One more question. What would make the slots open up more instead of just 2 people?
What will make the slots open up more will be how bad these 4 people do, or how good 3 or 4 people can do in Tier 3. That's what would change it. Now, if I see 3 people that I know for a fact, like, yeah, they belong in Big 12, a slot can open up. Or if I seen somebody in the Demotion watching Big 12 that's doing really bad, I'm like, yeah, I might as well give this person a chance. That will make the slot open up.
Okay.
Get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So that's really it for Big 12 Demotion watch. We're gonna move on to some Tier 3 now.
Moving on to Tier 3 Week 4 results. We have in the East, Jimbo versus Ernie. Jimbo won that game. Draco versus Ish. Ish won that game. The Unknown versus Risha. The Unknown won.
Hey.
In the West, we have Jed versus Bread. Bread won that game. Ricky versus Chabo, with Ricky winning that game. And Manny versus Turbo. Turbo got that one.
I just proud of that Unknown GM. Like, he really been making some good moves. Like, he really fixed that team. I kid you not.
Before we move on to the Week 5 Power Rankings, let's head to the GM of the Week for Week 4 for Tier 3. We have Mr. Ricky Camacho.
Big up, big up, big up. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This man been putting some work over the years. I kid you not. Like, a man among boys. That's what he says. He got everybody Tier 3 this week, so that's why I have a man among boys. Like, anybody he played would have been a blowout. So I ain't gonna lie, he having a really good year. Really good year.
Okay, and here we have the Week 5 Power Rankings for Tier 3. Jimbo at 1, Ricky at 2, Turbo is 3, Ernie at 4, Risha is 5, Jad at 6, Ish at 7, The Unknown at 8, Draco at 9, Brett at 10, Chabo at 11, and Manny at 12. Okay, in this week road matchup, we have Chabo versus Risha, Ernie versus Jed, Ish versus Manny, Jimbo versus Ricky, Draco versus Turbo, and Brett versus the unknown player. Get it in to the last week results. Gino. 5 for 6, you know. 5 for 6. 5 for 6. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of him.
Hey,
I'm proud of
he
him.
had a good week. That I don't know what made him think Chavo was gonna beat Ricky, but hey, he could have been 6 for 6. But yeah, he did his thing, man. He do his thing. That's a good bounce back. That's a good bounce back from last week. We was kind of clowning he last week.
I'll clone him from week 1.
So yeah, I was like, yeah, it's smooth. Alright, and before we move on to tier 2, let me get into some promotion watch for tier 3. And this is your tier 3 promotion watch. We have Jimbo at 1, Ricky at 2, Jed at 3, and Ernie is at 4.
So what made you pick these 4 as a top 4 to go into Big 12 on the promotion watch?
This is the first time I'm not doing the scouting for Big 12. So this is all Gino. So I'm focusing on tier 2, tier 1, beginners league, and all other leagues. So he's helping me out with us. He's the one in the leagues. He's the one watching the pickups, watching the trades, watching everything like they're doing. So this is his list. Ricky versus Jimbo, that's huge. That's a big matchup. Big matchup, because Ricky not that far off from Jimbo at all. And Ricky have a tier 3 ring. And he never had a losing season too. Neither Jimbo ball. I feel like Jimbo's got a little edge on him, but I feel like as far as those two, yeah, when it comes to the 2 slots I said I was open, they lock in. Because if you watch the dark spots with Jed and Ernie, it's dark. So that means they don't have 2 slots open. That's why when you see Jimbo and Ricky with the background that they have, that's the 2 slots open for them. And where I can give y'all a better look, this is the look right here, where you see Rain and Kimoy with dark shades, as in they exit out. And you have Kadeem, you have Plucky, and there's a swap between Jimbo and Ricky, Kadeem and Plucky. So like if the league was supposed to end today, that would have been the 2 swaps to go into Big 12, and next year Kadeem and Plucky would have been the swaps to go into Tier 3. And as far as the Demotion watch, these are the 4 names that's on Demotion watch. We have Draco, Ish, Bread, and Tobo. So listen up real quick, because y'all might see it and y'all might like, wow, the man on Demotion watch, some of these man Demotion watch. But again, I should watch the blue rim around the names. That will tell you exactly how bad it is. If you see in blue, you're safe. Now if you start to see red, then it getting hot. But like as far as Tobo, as you see, he has completely blue. Like everything is blue for him. That means he is completely safe right now. Like he's good. He is good. Like he's not looking to get demoted. Bread too, but he has a little bit of like white shade, so you know, like he's still really good. Like he's good. Any type of blue is good. Ish, good. Draco have a little blue, and that's why I only have 1 slot open, because it's really hard right now to say who's getting demoted in tier 3. So now that is only have 1 slot, that is bad for tier 2.
Why is that?
Because now there is only 1 slot open. That means only the winner of the tier 2 will be promoted. So now you have to win. You are coming from? If 1 slot is open, you have to win in order to get promoted. So that's what it is right now for tier 3. But that's really it for tier 3 demotion and promotion watch. Let me move on to some tier 2.
This is your tier 2 week 4 results. We have Jordan versus Bash. Jordan won that one. Javon versus Rashawn. Rashawn won. Demoy versus Ian. Demoy took that game. In the West, we have Grove versus Rashid. Grove won. MJ versus JP. MJ won. And Brandon versus Ras. Ras won that game. Moving on to the week 5 power rankings for tier 2. We have Jordan at 1. Bash at 2. Brandon at 3. MJ at 4. Grove is 5. Ras is 6. Rashawn is 7. Demoy is 8. Ian at 9, JP at 10, and Javon at 11, with Rashid at 12. Okay, next up, we have Chris Tier 2 Parlay for week 5. We have, for the road games, Bash versus Rashid, Ras versus Rashawn, JP versus Demoy, Grove versus Ian, MJ versus Javon, and Brandon versus Jordan. His last week results, Chris went 4 for 6. He ain't doing too bad.
Why you give Chris that dry energy? Richie went the same way. You give Richie so much energy.
Because Richie been winning over and over and over and over again. Chris just been a steady, okay. Like, he been steady, you know?
I'll say this when it comes to the Demotion watch. I'll be honest with you. This is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. Richie have the easiest job out of all of them. I kid you not. Richie have it easier than everybody. Now, like, I wouldn't say at first. I would not say at first. But going forward, Richie definitely have it easier than them. I'll tell you this why. Because Richie have at least 3 to 4 names that he know for a fact. If he pick them, they might win. Like, it's not even like a 50, it's like a 80% chance if he picks 4 certain names, he might win. So Richie, is no reason Richie should ever go under 4. As a matter of fact, it's 2 names that if he pick to lose, they're going to lose. They are going to lose. If they get 2 names, if he pick to win, they might win. So I feel like, yeah, he kind of get easier than everybody else. In my opinion, I can't say Gino get the hardest. Gino probably get the hardest. You say only have 1 slot open in territory? Like, none of them really that bad, you know. Yet. They are not really yet. Yet. But I feel like I won't say that much because tier 2 also not that far up, but they have some people on tier 2 that kind of like, yeah. So let me try to explain to you what I'm talking about. So tier 2 don't have no promotion watch yet. I think it's too early. I still trying to figure out stuff when it comes to like the best people. I still don't know who's the best in tier 2. I'll be honest with you. So we're going to go straight into the Demotion watch for tier 2. So this is your tier 2 Demotion watch. We have Rashid at 1, Javon at 2, Jordan at 3, and Brandon is at 4. So Rashid and Javon, so Rashid right now, you can see as a record 0-4. That's tough, man, because last year he only lost 1 game. He went 19-1 in tier 1. 19-1. Right now he 0-4. Javon, it's one of my favorite guys, man. But right now he 1-3. I can't be biased. And Jordan and Brandon was on Demotion watch last year. Well, it was on Demotion watch going into the year. As you can see, Brandon, he completely fine. He have the complete blue rim around his name. Jordan also basically fine. He basically have basically close to a full blue rim. But as far as tier 2 Demotion watch, yeah, this is it right here. And as you can see, I only have 2 slots open for tier 2, and I don't really have the names. Like, they gapping pure and luck. They're not gonna be in tier 1 next year.
So nobody else have the potential to be in tier 2 other than them?
No, and it's not even close. Like, it's only going to be 2 slots. I'm 100% sure, unless I see something other. I can be wrong, but I don't see nobody that's near as close as them two when it comes to tier 1. But with that being said, let me move on to tier 1. Let me knock this out quick and let we go to enjoy our day. So this is your tier 1 week 4 results.
We have Joseph versus Lock. Lock won that game. Kyle versus Rhino. Kyle won. Slick versus Dylan. Slick won. Pure versus Sharif. Pure won. Gillo versus Marcel. Marcel won that game. And Chad versus Kerry, with Chad winning. Moving on to the week 5 power rankings for tier 1. We have Lock at 1. 2 is Pure. Chad is 3. Marcel at 4. Joseph is 5. Kyle is 6. Sharif at 7. Slick at 8. Gillo at 9. Dylan at 10. Kerry at 11. And Brino at 12.
So this is the only time that you see me talking a little bit about free agent league or beginners league. But this is my demotion watch for tier 1 going into the promotion watch for my tier 1 leagues next year. So the demotion watch, we have Rhino, Kyle, Kerry, Dylan, Sharif, and Slick on demotion watch. Then we have, you want to speak here close, Ash. And for the promotion watch, we have, hey Ashley, there you go, trying to get back into your tiers.
Whoop whoop whoop.
Again, Ashley only a free agent league because, you know, she got pregnant. I should have put her in tier 1. That's my fault. But hey, she here. So we have Ashley, Kyle and Ryan from Free Agent League. For Beginners League, we have JR, Clay, Wyatt, Winston, Bobby, and Matt for my promotion watch. When it comes to Beginners League, I'll be honest with you, my Beginners League is basically the same as Free Agent League. I just had so many people that wanted to play in my Tiers League this year. I was like, fine, I'm gonna just have basically 2 Free Agent Leagues, if that makes sense. They all experienced, they all play fantasy before. None of these guys is beginners, and I ain't gonna lie, it's 9. If I can have all 9 of them in Tier 1 next year, I will do it. But right now, it's only 6 slots open for Tier 1. So that's the beauty about Free Agent League and Beginners League. They are all fighting for those 6 slots. We have 9 names, 6 slots. Let me see what happens over the next couple of weeks. So with that being said, again, a little bit more. Somebody told me in one of my tiers that these episodes shorter than last year. I was like, bro, bear with me, it's gonna get a little better. So hope I enjoyed this episode, enjoy the ride, enjoy the ladder that I have for my Tiers League, how we're going up, how we're going down, yeah, yada yada. But that's it for this episode. Hope I enjoy your day, because I'm out.